order to cash, meaning what? Meaning the cycle that starts from we getting an order from a customer to the point when we get the money from the customer in our bank. And that cycle, that is order to cash, that cycle has to be minimized as much as possible. So what are the steps in achieving reduction in this order to cash cycle? So the steps that would need to be focused: number one, issuing quotations and contracting as quickly as possible, doing the risk assessment, which means whenever we are giving a quotation to any customer, obviously we will need to also examine as to what is the credit worthiness of that customer. Are there any possibility of that customer not paying us on time or not paying at all? And if that be the case, what can we do to ensure this risk? Maybe we can ask the customer to give us a letter of credit, or to give us a bank guarantee, or give us an advance payment, or give us a corporate guarantee. Whatever that can be done, that has to be done for risk assessment. Number three, process orders and deliveries. That needs to be expedited. So the time which is taken in receiving the order and making the delivery has to be minimized as much as possible. And remember, that is how globally all the companies are doing. And remember, that is the reason as to why all these e-portal companies like Amazon, Flipkart, and so many of them, Alibaba, all of them are constantly working only on that thing, as to how to ensure that the orders are delivered to the customer as quickly as possible. And same thing is applicable in our case also. Then of course, invoicing. Remember, only making the shipment is not important. More than making the shipment, what is important is the invoicing. Because if we make the shipment, invoice is not raised, the customer does not make the payment. The customer will make the payment not when he receives the goods, he will make the payment when he receives the invoices. So that means the next step that we need to focus in order to cash cycle is to ensure expeditious release of the invoice. Then processing of the payment at the end of the supplier, that we need to ensure has done. That means continuous follow-up with the customer. Remember, for the customer, our payment is not the priority. For the customer, his payments are his priority. So he is not going to worry about our payments. We will have to worry about our payments, and that is why we will need to focus so as to ensure there are no pending points from the side of the customer to delay our payments. Collecting overdues. So in case if some payment has not come from the customer for whatever reason, then we need to ensure that those overdue payments are brought in as quickly as possible. Managing the disputes. So sometimes it is possible that the customers will find some reason or the other, knowingly or unknowingly, creating some dispute so as to delay our payment. Now it is in our own interest so as to ensure that all these disputes are settled as quickly as possible. So this is step number one, and that is order to cash cycle that we need to work, and the steps that we need to take so as to ensure that the time between the receipt of the order from the customer and receipt of the cash from the customer for the supply of the consignment is minimized as much as possible. And for the sake of brevity, for the sake of further emphasizing, remember, all the companies across the globe, that is what everyone is doing today. So it's in my own interest to ship the consignment as quickly as possible as soon as I receive the order. Then we need to understand the other thing, that is DSO. Now before I cover the DSO, let me throw it open to all of you in case if you have any question or any doubt.